Beautiful morning, the third day of February 2023. It's Friday, TGIF. Thank goodness it's Friday. You're welcome to today's edition of our flagship program. Good morning, Anambra, right here on ABS TV. My name is Chidima Oranwa. As always, we are starting the show this morning by bringing your way the stories and making the headlines on national dailies and also stories that are trending on ABS website this morning. But before we go into discussion proper, we are going to take a short break. When we come back, you meet our guest and then we start the discussion. Stay with us. You're welcome back to the show. With us this morning in the studio are Sir Jerry Obodo, a public affairs analyst. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Chi. Good morning, Nigerians, and good morning, Anambra.
We also have with us in the studio this morning Osta Eze. Osta is also a public affairs analyst. Good morning, Osta.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
All right, quickly, let's start the show this morning by reading out the stories on ABS website. The first story we have this morning is Anambra State West Commissioner Ukoma reassures of quality road projects. 2023, Asate President Audu cautions voters against compromise. Anambra State government warns of increasing danger of neglected tropical diseases. Anambra State Assembly extend tenure of local government transition committee chairman and members. Okay, let's start with you, Sir Jerry.
Yeah, let me start with the road projects that are ongoing in various locations in the state. The quality of the roads is very, very important. When you put in money, you must have to get back the worth of the money you are putting in. The governor of the state, said that the roads he's building is going to last for at least 20 years. But I don't want that to end in paper. What I want to see is the thing to be on ground. The works commissioner should be up to his game, making sure that he's following the contractors and their workers bumper to bumper, so that they will not shortchange or cut corners. The communities where the road passes through should also take ownership, make sure that they also monitor the jobs that are going in their communities so that we get our money's worth. 20 years, road projects will be good for the state, not when you put in money within less than a year or 2 years, when you get back there, the roads is not passable. So I want the commissioner, even the governor, to visit the places from time to time. I remember that one-time governor, Dr. Chris Inged, used to do that. So thank you.
All right, thank you for that. Over to you, Osita.
Yeah, let me quickly talk about the issue of extending the tenure of local government. Well, we're going to pardon this, but we want to remind His Excellency, the Governor of Anambra State, that one of the promises he made in the Anambra was that he was going to allow the local government elections to hold. and that implies that local government system will be given its autonomy so that we can start grooming politicians from that level. So extending the tenure of these transition committee chairmen and their members is actually not in line with that promise, and I encourage him to go ahead and fulfill that promise. Whatever be the red, this needs to be attended to ASAP. And that said, I also like to talk about the issue of Anambra State government warning against the danger of increased tropical diseases. Beyond warning Anambra people, we also need to ensure that the agencies assigned to look into ensuring that we don't abuse our environments, which leads to the breeding of most of these vermins, are called to order to start doing their work as and when due. Like you go to some of the places where receptacles for our waste, and you find that people still contravene the rules for dropping their waste. They don't put them in the right bags and they don't tie the bags. You find out that our drainage systems, our waterways are still clogged with a lot of debris and what have you. This shouldn't be so in a state that wants to be in a first world status. So the agencies involved should get to work. The Ministry of Environment should start doing their work. It's not about just giving press statements here and there. They should get into the streets, find out how the streets are, find out how people are using the streets, start calling people to order, start holding people responsible. Let's start getting things right in Anambra State. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that submission. Talking about the local government election, the tenure, transition committee chairman, the tenure that had been extended, I think it's been extended to 3 months. So probably that will give them the ample time to conduct election, because we are not going to be talking about election right now. We are talking about the general elections. That's my own opinion. And again, the people of Anambra State should also take ownership of their environment when it comes to keeping our environments clean. We're not going to leave the agencies and just the people that are mandated to do that to do it alone. We need to do something, because when all these diseases come, it will affect us, not just the government. Yes. So you want to add something?
Yeah, what I want to say on the extension of the tenure of the local government is, some time ago, the government of Anambra State came up to say that there was a court matter, a court case that is responsible for elections in the local government not being conducted. That until that matter is vacated, that they can't conduct the election. So I think that's where we are now. I don't know if that case has been dealt with in the court or vacated. So if that case is still pending in the court, that means the election cannot hold. So we have to still make up with this transition thing. It's not the best thing, but we need to go. We need to dig deep into this. All of us, both the journalists and all of us, to see where is the case now. How far has it gone? Is it still pending? And all that, so that we know what the next level to go.
All right, well said. Let's also inform you watching us at home, that you can be part of the discussion ongoing in the studio this morning. All you need to do is just to dial the number displayed in front of your television set this morning. All right, our first paper under review this morning is the National Star newspaper with the banner headline there: hardship persists, few, naira scarcity, insecurity ground southeast and south. Then we have riders there: travelers grown as petrol sells for 500 naira per litre. Business owners count losses, politicians fear attack, avoid campaigns. IGP asks reps to query Attorney General over missing $2.4 billion all money. IPOB back 2023 elections, cancel sit-at-home order. And then up there, U.S. lawmakers ask Biden to return Nigeria to religious rights violators lists. 3 feared dead, 50 trapped in building collapse in Abuja. And then Okowa using Delta money to fund Atiku's campaign, Clark alleges. All right, these are the stories trending in front page of the National Star newspaper this morning.
Yeah, let me talk about the issue of the price of fuel rising to 500 naira per liter. I believe that one is self-inflicted, and we have to blame the petroleum marketers for that, because we know that if you go to some other stations that are owned by more reputable companies, you find out that they still sell at the right price. And we also want to look at why the regulatory bodies that are meant to ensure that the prices of these petroleum products are what they should be. Why are they not doing their job, especially down here in the southeast and in the south-south? And we keep blaming the federal government for all our woes, when we are the ones that inflict these woes on ourselves. It's not right. It's really not right. There's a particular amount of money, the price that has been placed for petroleum products. Why are we not selling at that price? Why are we making obscene amounts of profits at the expense of the people? It doesn't make sense. The issue of naira scarcity, we had been warned that a time will come when naira will be scarce like this. As at last year, there was even a time when when the government gave licenses to as many private establishments as possible, so that POS machines will be made available to business establishments. But you go to people that all these business establishments introduce POS machines to them, and they tell you they don't need them. Right now, the need for these POS machines has arisen, and they are the ones crying. That's the Nigerian situation. That's one of the things I keep repeating, that there's a need for us to change our mindset as Nigerians. If we want things to change, we need to start doing things differently.
The right way.
Hello.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, just need to call us back, please. Do not just flash our line. If you want to
Flash us.
just call the line and speak out. All right, that's it from Oster.
Okay,
So
yeah.
It's a two-way game, blame game. The federal government has its own blame, like Oster rightly pointed out. The citizens themselves are very exploitative. System that could work, they will twist it to to their advantage and to the disadvantage of the populace. We have kept saying that why is it that we don't have refineries that are working optimally? Why is it that the fuel are being refined outside Nigeria and use dollar exchange to naira exchange to sell to Nigerians? So these are the problems we have. Why is it that we cannot bring in private sector refineries? I remember our late Chief Tony Mas. He was always calling for private sector coming in to build refineries. And with a stiff competition, you will have the problem we are having now. So I believe that if a government that is people-friendly comes in and do all this,
what about
we get it right.
Rehabilitating our own refineries, apart from the modular refineries or personal refineries?
How many times have you had a turnaround maintenance? They've been putting in money there to turn around maintenance, but it doesn't work. The refineries are so obsolete. It was, during the colonial days, and but also, they have the money to build the new ones, but they have not done so because a lot of people are benefiting from that. When they take the crude oil abroad and refine, they make more money. And
so it's the same. It's going to be the same problem. If people are benefiting from taking our crude oil outside, refining it and bringing it back to the country, they will still allow the private refineries to.
That's what I'm saying. If a government that is people-oriented comes in, he will abolish that taking out to refine. He will build its own, at least in the geographical 6 geographical pool. He build one for each zone. Then allow the private sector to come in and build their own. You see a stiff competition, and all the fuel people will be begged to come in and buy fuel, and the prices will be cheap. That's what I'm saying. Having said that, let me talk on this. IPOB is for election, that they don't want to do anything to mar the election. I commend them for that, the governor of Anambra State also has helped matters by making a statement that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be released, even to him, so that he will keep him, and each time the federal government needs him, he will make him available. If that is done, I can tell you that the crisis and problem we have in the Southeast will go down well. And the election will hold freely, and people will move around to cast their votes. So I commend the governor of the state for being bold and courageous to demand that. But also I want him to go a step further by observing due process, putting a request to the federal government, not just that public statement, so that it will be documented, and if that is granted, it's a very good omen for the state.
All right, our next paper this morning is the Punch newspaper with the banner headlines there. New Naira crisis. Aso Rock forces incited Nigerians against APC El-Rufai and the riders under it. Cabal misinforming Buhari. Atiku benefiting from Naira confusion. Kaduna governor. Come out to vote even if they devalue Naira drastically. Tinubu tells supporters. CBN policy inflicting pain on the masses and businesses. NLC, TUC, and Niger governor. NMPLC, Dawu signs 342 billion Naira Kaduna refinery rehabilitation deal. Missing crude probe, IG refers reps to Malami. PDP knocks Wike, accused governor of anti-party activities. And then we can see what is going on. The picture in front of the Punch newspaper this morning. 3 killed as Abuja building collapses after extra flood. Bandits display new Naira note, experts indict bankers. UK turned down Desiani extradition request, says AIG. And then smuggling, government shuts 270 filling stations. We can also see where Clark is accusing Okowa and saying that he has betrayed the South.
Yeah. Well, it's a sad thing that the building collapsed and over 50 people were trapped inside. It happened yesterday. People kept following the story, and it's a very sad incident. There's a need for us to really start telling ourselves the truth as citizens, as real estate enthusiasts. Why is it that experts tell us these are the standards for setting up certain buildings? I want to go against those standards. What do we stand to gain from that? Now look at the loss that the owner of that establishment would incur. Not talk of the fact that, of course, the government is going to confiscate that particular property. So that was just for us to learn. And my heart goes out to the families of the people who lost their lives, and of course the people who got trapped. I hope by now they must have all been retrieved from that
debris.
Yeah. Now moving on to the issue of missing crude probe. IG refers rep to Malami. Now, what keeps playing out between the executive and the lawmakers is something that, as Igbos would say, it's Nabama, because I don't really understand the reason our lawmakers seem to be somewhat powerless in front of some of these appointees, political appointees by the executive. There are people who confirm the appointment of all these persons. Why is it that they can't exercise their powers over these people to ensure that some of these anomalies that go on are called to order? I don't understand it. I don't understand why such an obscene amount of money is missing, and then they go to the IG refers on some other persons, and they keep playing all those puppy game. And before you know it now, the story will just die down. Nobody will know what came out of it, like several other such stories in the past. So this is the reason why I keep calling on the electorate to look beyond just who is going to be the president, to also who they put in there as lawmakers. Because the personality of who goes there to represent you, the strength of will of who goes there to represent you matter in cases like this. Because if you have people who have very strong will, there as lawmakers, people who are incorrigible as lawmakers, I'm sure that they will start calling some of these things to light. And some of these anomalies that go on with all these political appointees, some of these embezzlements that go on will not be there.
All right, thank you so much. Quickly, let's see the front page of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. The banner headline, CBN directs banks to pay 20,000 naira over the counter. That's the big story there. We have riders, Apes Bank, police order agencies to prosecute sellers and abusers of naira. Naira redesign good for economy, present hardship temporary. This is coming from the federal government. And then up there, 2 killed, over 40 trapped, 20 rescued as a 2-story building collapses in Abuja. Southern Middle Belt leaders reaffirm Obi as preferred candidate. Distribution problem, panic buying and greed fueling petrol scarcity, Kiari. And then the customs sees fake dollars worth 2.7 billion naira in legals. Bolanle, a ballistic report ready. Witnesses tells the court how Vandi was disarmed. PDP accuses Wike of anti-party activities, denies working with APC. How UK rejected request to repatriate ex-minister Dezani, Interpol. Okay, these and many more other stories trending in front page of the Nigerian Tribune. Let's look at the CBN ordering the commercial banks to start paying customers over the counter. 20,000 naira, yes.
Yeah, you will recall that last time I came, I commend the CBN. I think they listen to the public affairs analyst. When I came here last time, I said they should not only the banks should not only pay through the ATMs, banks should also pay through the counter, so that it will decongest the people queuing up for the ATM. But I'm happy that the CBN has directed the banks to start paying from the counter. This is a welcome development. I want to see this being implemented. Let the banks, for now, take this directive seriously and let the CBN monitor, also do their monitoring properly to see if they are, following this to a logical conclusion. Even if the new Naira note is not there, let the old one be there, since it is still a legal tender. Let them make it available. Make it available. The 100 Naira notes, 50 Naira notes, they are still legal tender, and the others, so that people who does not have the new ones, we lay hands on the old ones, and it will reduce the hardship people are experiencing. A lot of people are doing trekking, because they don't have the cash to board the transport. Some other people are suffering because they cannot even feed their family. The fuel problem also compounds the woes of many Nigerians. So I commend that.
Talking about the fuel scarcity now,
okay.
What Kiari said, he's saying that is the things that are fueling this scarcity is distribution problem, panic buying, and greed. Do you agree with him on that?
I don't think that is the case, because the fuel that they have now is not enough to go around the country. So if you go to some filling stations, you will see them selling, because they cannot lay hands on the fuel, the product. Since the thing is being imported, the quantity you have ordered for takes some time to arrive. And during that gap of waiting, it causes some scarcity. So that's why I am of the opinion that we should not de-emphasize the taking away or taking abroad the crude oil to refine and bring back. Rather, to emphasize building the refineries in Nigeria, allowing the private sector to come in and build a refinery, allow modular refineries. These things will be a thing of the past. Take it to the bank that I said so today. If all these things are done, you won't experience all these things we're experiencing now.
All right, let's quickly go over to the Daily Sun newspaper this morning. We still see there, troops dislodge terrorists, rescue 30 kidnapped victims in Kaduna. Buhari unhappy over difficulties in getting redesigned Naira notes. Finance Minister, President firmly behind Tinubu, says Lai Mohammed. Presidency, Southern and Middle Belt leaders endorse Obi. Custom intercepts $6 million fake currency, passports of various nationals at Seme border. Bandits display new Naira notes, mock federal government in viral video. And then we can see there, Wike working for Tinubu PDP campaign, council alleges. Oil theft, rep panel, Grace Interpol boss over investigation of whistleblowers. All right. These are the stories that are quite different from what we've seen on in the front page of other papers that we've read out this morning. So quickly, over to you, Oster.
Yeah, the presidency has every reason to be unhappy with the difficulties in getting the redesigned Naira notes. And this is because certain individuals and certain bankers have compromised the whole arrangement for making these Naira notes available to the people. There are rumors that some politicians have some arrangements with some bankers to divert these notes from the counters to their private homes. And this is part of the reason the notes are nowhere to be found. And of course, some POS operators have capitalized on it to start ripping the people off. Imagine if you're taking 10,000 naira, you pay as much as 2,000 naira, 3,000 naira for you to get 10,000 naira of your money from the POS. I mean, how preposterous can that be? And this is the situation we find ourselves in. And yet we keep blaming the FG. And yet on Sundays and any other day we go to church, we go there and then we keep crying to God to change our society when we're the ones who put ourselves in the situation we're in. I mean, it doesn't make sense. The government will come up with policies that will help to shape our society the way it should be. And then we'll bastardize the whole thing. And we'll expect things to be better. And we'll keep praying to God to make things better for us. This is not how Singapore got it right. When Lee Kuan Yew started making those policies that was going to take Singapore from a third world status to first world status, he had a compliant citizenry. And that was why within a short period of time, regardless of their religious inclinations or ethnic groups, because they are also diversely placed in their demographics, they still got things right within a short period of time. And now Singapore is one of the top 10 countries economic-wise and all whatnot. Singapore is in the first world status. A Singapore that was in the same status with us a few years back. We need to learn from these people. It doesn't take just the government to get things right. There's a need for some form of compliance. It's not enough for us to just go to social media and keep condemning everything the government does, keep looking for how to pull whoever it is that is in governance down. There's a need for us to look into ourselves and find out what we are doing that is getting things wrong. How can POS, is it that we don't have a regulatory body that holds these POS operators to order? Is it that there's no way to tell these POS operators the same way we control how bankers do their job? Tell these POS operators, this is the maximum amount of money you can collect from people. It's actually robbery in broad daylight for POS operators to be collecting for 5,000 naira, they collect 1,000 naira from you. That's over 20% of your own money. It doesn't make sense. And I don't know why nobody is paying attention to this. So I stand with the presidency, I share his sentiments. There's a need for him, he has every reason to be unhappy about this, and there's a need for Nigeria to start changing it. If not, whoever it is that gains that position come February 25th, things will even keep getting worse than this. Take that from me.
All right, our next about the review this one, you want to add something to that?
Yeah, what I want to say is on another topic anyway.
Okay, go ahead.
Southern Middle Belt support Mr. Peter Obi. I commend them for that bold step. I think they've gone through his campaign and is issue-based. So it's on capacity basis, on merit, that they are rooting for him. It's not sentiment on sentiment. So I commend them and wish that it will translate to the voting period.
Okay, well, that's their opinion and that's your own opinion because we are not here to campaign for anybody, but you're just supporting what they've said. That's okay. The next paper this morning is the Nation newspaper. El-Rufai, Fashola Buhari is backing for Tinubu solid. That's the banner headline on the front page of the Nation newspaper this morning. And then we can see their president supporting APC candidates, says Lai Mohammed. No split in APC. APC candidate restate a commitment to job creation, credit facility for businesses. And then CBN pegs daily withdrawal across counter at 20,000 naira, okay? And NNPCL firm signs $740 million pact to fix Kaduna refinery. And then Edwin Clark's Lams Okoa asks governor to quit race. Let's also see what we have in the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. It's still talking about the Naira crisis. APC governors reject February 10 deadline. Tell Emefiele people are paying to get their money. Demand 1 year extension to meet Buhari today. Protests in Lagos. Military operations suffer as troops in bushes cash trapped. And then we are not afraid of anybody. El-Rufai's Des Villa Cabals. Mr. Kanu, Gawuna, Bashir, Yusuf, Abacha, lock-ons as Daily Trust debate tomorrow. And down there, Jane and I demands probe of NAF over Nasarawa headers killings. All right. These are what are trending on the front pages of the Nation and the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Over to you, Star.
Yeah, the issue of headers killing in Nasarawa State is it goes to show that we've not gotten our security rights. I keep saying that the reason we've not done that is not because we don't have enough manpower to handle it, though that is the manpower we have might not be enough, but what we have is sufficient if we do not have some level of compromise in the leadership of our security operatives. I do not think our security operatives are telling us the whole truth about the way they are going about checking insecurity in different parts of the country. I believe they are compromised. I really believe they are compromised. And I think there's a need for the Buhari to still talk to the security chiefs on this issue. We don't understand the reason we've not been able to curtail the level of killings. And we don't understand the reason bandits still have a field day showing us the new Naira notes, which goes to show that the whole intent of coming up with a new Naira note to reduce the activities and to check the activities is actually defeated. So there's a need for the president to talk to his security chiefs. Do we really want Nigeria that we can live in, or do we want to destroy Nigeria and maybe get recolonized? Look at the rate at which people are leaving the country. All right, our best brains have left the country and more are still living because the first thing that we need, security, is not there. So Buhari really needs to start looking these security chiefs in the eyes and start getting them. If that's one legacy he's able to achieve before he leaves office, then he has really done a lot for Nigerians. We're not saying he's not done something. We are saying that security is very paramount, and it's because he has not been able to hold security down. That is the reason Nigerians are still not satisfied with his administration.
All right, thank you so much. Quickly, let's take the two papers we have, the last two papers we have this morning together. That's the Daily Independent and the Guardian newspaper this morning. Daily Independent first. 2023 presidency, South and Middle Belt leaders insist on Peter B. Clark asks Okowa to step down as Atiku's running mate. And being targeted for elimination, Governor Otom cries out. And then diversification policy, ICT generated 45.7 billion naira for government. Buhari thick dust haze to envelop Castina, Kano, Yobe orders for 72 hours, Nimet warns. Airlines to save quantum sum on fuel consumption after migration to SBAS. 3 feared dead at 24 rescue, several others trapped in Abuja building. We've talked about that. Tinubu outburst yield results as CBN NNPC move to end Naira and fuel scarcity. Those are the stories trending in the front page of the Daily Independent. Let's move over to the Guardian newspaper this morning. CSOs picket offices as banks beam searchlight on branch managers. We have a lot of riders under it. Federal government concerned Naira swaps are necessary, paying for Nigeria's economy, says a minister. And then tellers sell cash to retail customers and POS operators. Afenifere Middle Belt Forum Pandef Ohaneze Unite and back Peter Obi. No sit at home on election day, says IPOB. Islamic group and I want security operatives punished over Nasarawa killings. How ruling parties frustrate opposition campaign in state. That's for the 2023 election. INEC insists elections will not be postponed. And they can see that on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. All right, quickly, Sir Jerry.
Yeah, the COS and all this picketing on the branch managers of banks, I've said that during the last edition I came, there's need for the CBN to, monitor and look at the books of the banks. What's the quantity that is issued to them at a given period? Who are they issued to? The names of those that that the money was issued is in their book. So the moment you are doing this, you either see that so name was issuing almost half of the quantity or the full money. Then you have to query the manager. Why should he issue such money to such person? And new Naira note for that matter. So with that, it will put them on guard and they serve as a deterrent to others. But when you keep on issuing a statement and other without following up and monitoring, they keep repeating itself.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we really don't have time again. We want to say a very big thank you to both of you for joining us on the show this morning. Thank you, Sir Jerry, for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Usta, for joining us
on
Press Review this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right, well, that's it on Press Review this morning. My name is Chidima Oranwa. Thank you so much for being part of it. We are going on a short break, but we'll be right back. Stay with us.